So in this video, this is my first ride out into traffic across some pretty large intersections. Prior to this, I had only ridden within the neighborhood. My shifting is still a little clunky, but I feel like it gets better with each ride. And you'll see even by the end of this short ride, it gets a little bit better. I was scheduled to take the MSF course here in Pennsylvania where there is no charge to take the course. That was supposed to be last week, but the weather's been so cold here in Pennsylvania they canceled it and rescheduled it for the end of February. So hopefully I'll be able to finish that and get my motorcycle endorsement in a couple weeks here. You'll see every once in a while I'm trying to rev match. Still a work in progress, but I'll continue to try till I can get it. It's the timing of blipping the throttle and downshifting I still got to work on. Now, as I come up to this stop sign, I'm curious what other people do when they come up to a stop sign. I'm sure you drop it into first. Do you stop completely, plant one of your feet, and then go? I kind of rolled through these as slow as I could in first gear, made sure that no cars were coming, obviously. And once it was clear that no cars were coming, I rolled through it, and there's another stop sign up here where I kind of do the same thing, but I'm curious what other people do in that situation. And you can hear that it was a very windy day. I almost decided not to even go out because the wind was picking up, especially once I make this right turn here. It seemed to be whenever I was facing in this direction, the wind was definitely more left to right. And you'll see it too when I get out on the highway. This is one of the bigger intersections that I had to cross over, which I was a little bit nervous doing, but I think as long as you approach it as safely as possible, you become a little more confident in doing it. So all I really did here was, there's a loop So I'll take this road to a stop sign, and then I just make a couple rights, and I do this loop 2 times before I head home again. But I think this is a good area to really practice on my shifting, and making sure I'm using the turn signals, turning the turn signals off. I'm going to practice some of my downshifting here as well, and also getting up to speed, because it's only a 35 mile an hour road, and it's the roads that I'm going on are very straight roads. There are a lot of roads in this area that are very windy and hilly, and these are pretty straight and pretty flat, which I think are good roads to practice on as a beginner. And I know it looks like I keep looking down. What I'm doing is I'm looking at my bar end mirrors. I know from the video it looks like I'm looking down at my feet, but I'm really just checking the mirrors. And this is where you could really feel the wind. Obviously you're going faster, but I definitely felt some left to right gusts. And we're supposed to have gusts today, almost 30 miles an hour. So I was really close to not even going out today, but it was my lunch break, and I thought, why not? So right here is about the fastest that's the fastest I've gone on a motorcycle, at 42 miles an hour. So I was a little nervous. The biggest thing is, the question you have in your head is, if something runs out in front of me, like a fox or a deer or a kid, can I stop fast enough? And I practiced emergency stopping in a parking lot not far from my house, next to a baseball field. That was at 25 miles an hour, and if you feel like you can stop a motorcycle pretty quick, but in an emergency situation, you definitely have some doubts, where you've never gone 40 miles an hour before. If you're going 40 and you have to stop, now this bike has ABS, so hopefully the wheels shouldn't ever lock up, but you still question it your first time going over 40 on a motorcycle. I definitely wanted to go faster here. The only problem is, right up here on the left is the police station, so don't want to get pulled over first time really out on the bike. So that's pretty much the end of the loop that I was talking about. And when I make this right here, this is the start of that loop. And I'll do this one more time before I make my way back to my house. when I bought this bike used, it did come with a windshield that I took off just because I thought that you could see a little bit better. There were no obstructions in front of you. The way the wind was today, I was debating on, maybe it's a good idea to put that thing back on and go for a ride. Well, I still need a pair of riding pants. Right now I'm only wearing jeans. You can see I have the gloves on. I wear a full face helmet, and I have a Sadisi jacket with shoulder pads, and there's a foam pad in the back. I definitely need to get some riding pants. I've tried on a couple. The knee pads always seem to fall below my knees, and they cover my shins. I don't feel very protected. So I'm going to have to keep shopping and see if I can find some riding pants, but that's the only thing I'm missing. Other than that, though, I never ride without any gear, and I don't plan on it. So the first couple times I went out riding, it was definitely nerve-wracking. You're not sure, how you're going to handle turns and stops and downshifting and upshifting and braking and all those things. But I have to say that the past couple times that I've gone out, with each time comes more confidence. And the past 2 times that I've gone out have definitely been more fun. Now, I don't want to confuse that with overconfidence. Hopefully, I'm not getting overconfident. I like to think that I'm being very careful. But at the same time, that's the danger zone, right? Where, you become overconfident in your abilities. But it's definitely becoming fun. So this is where the loop started that I was talking about earlier, and instead of making the right and staying on that loop and doing it again, I decided it was time to go back to work. So I'm making my way home here, where I cross over that fairly large intersection and pass the Wawa on the left and start making my way back home. Now you definitely have to be careful in this area because there's a lot of deer, and there's usually a fox that wants to run out in front of you. One time I was at this stop sign and a fox trotted right across me with a squirrel in his mouth, just looking at me like I was crazy for looking at him. So you'll see I cut this traffic light a little bit close. So that's pretty much it for the ride today. If you stuck with the video all the way to the end, thank you. Appreciate it. Feel free to hit the like button. I'm hoping to make more of these videos as I ride. I'll probably ride a little bit more with my brother who's got a bike. He's got a I don't know if he has a BMW adventure bike or a sport bike, but I bought a used GoPro Hero 7 and a chin mount from chinmounts.com, and I'm looking to kind of record some of these rides and hopefully document some of my progress. Maybe in a few weeks or a few months here I'll be clicking a little bit smoother and continue to ride safe, everybody that rides, and thanks again for watching.